The story's about a 13-year-old boy called Conor, whose mother is ill, and she might be very, very ill, and that could be difficult for Conor because she's a single parent, his father lives out of the country, and he has nightmares because of this, because of the stress of this, of what he knows, what he doesn't know. And one night, a monster comes to his bedroom window and says he's going to tell Conor 3 stories, but in return Conor must tell him the truth. And the truth turns out to be the hardest thing that Conor could ever think of, and he's terrified to say it and refuses to do so, and that's how the story begins. Yeah, the monster tells Conor several stories, but my favourite is the last one he tells Conor, which is where Conor more or less becomes the hero of the story, and there's this great, finally, release of energy, and all the anger that he's been feeling is released, and there's a magnificent illustration, a really energetic illustration of sort of chairs tumbling across the page, where he's finally released his anger, and there's just something really satisfying about that, because that's the moment where Conor really lets go and really begins to feel. Children read it and they love it. They love the seriousness of it, they love the sadness of it, they love the illustrations, which are really dark and magnificent, and they think it's sad, but they respond in that way. But adults have had really varying reactions because we have more experience of loss ourselves, and I think we bring a different kind of feeling to the book. And so there's been lots of crying, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think crying is a good thing. I think it's healing. I especially like it in a book. But it's been interesting it's a real kind of book where what you bring to it is different each time. Siobhan Dowd was a terrific writer for teenagers, and she unfortunately died of breast cancer in 2007. But before she died, my editor had commissioned her for a book that she was very, very excited to write. I have an email from her to my editor, full of enthusiasm for this story. She only had a very beginning, she had some characters, she had some ideas about structure, and then she died much sooner than anyone expected, much, much sooner. And my editor didn't want the idea to just disappear, because Siobhan had been so excited about it, so they brought it to me and asked if I would turn it into a book.